All right, Heather.
Hi.
Heather, where are you from originally?
I'm from Texas.
What part?
Tyler, Texas is east, close to Dallas.
Tell me about your family growing up.
Both of my parents were alcoholics. They used to try to beat each other all the time, and we got taken away by CPS, so we kind of lived with relatives for a while. Then I went back to my mom with my older sister, and two of my sisters stayed with relatives, so I don't really know them. I don't know.
How would you describe your childhood in general?
It was really chaotic all the time. My mom was always trying to kill herself or, I don't know, run away or disappear or, crazy stuff.
It makes it hard for a kid.
Yeah.
What kind of girl were you in high school?
I didn't go to high school. I was put in a juvenile prison for 27 months, and in Texas, if you're incarcerated, you can get your GED at 16, and so I did that. They told me I could still go to school and get my diploma, but whenever I tried to, they told me I was a waste of taxpayers' money, so I never got to go to high school.
Really? What have you done with your life since school, or since that?
Well, I was a housewife for 13 years.
Do you have kids?
I have two sons. I had a daughter, but she was accidentally run over in our driveway at 2 and passed away. So now I have two sons.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How did that happen?
My stepmother was looking in the glove box when she was backing out of the driveway, and my daughter wanted to go with her and ran out and fell, and the back tires got her head.
So sorry.
It's okay. So I have two sons that are 12 and 13. They live in Texas right now.
And drugs started for you at some point?
I started doing drugs when I was 12. Well, I guess 11 I smoked weed, and then by 12 I was smoking crack. My boyfriend at the time was 21. He was a lot older, so that's what he did. So
Your boyfriend was 21, you were how old?
12. After that boyfriend, I had a boyfriend that was 25. He was in the cartel. He used to pimp us out. I would bring like my friends from school and get them on drugs and help get them pimped out. That was my job, I guess, when I was with him.
So you were working as a prostitute, but you were also recruiting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I feel awful about now.
And drugs are getting the girls
Yeah.
into it and keeping them into it.
Yeah.
What drug was that?
Oh, usually crack.
How long were you in Texas doing that?
Oh, that was just like a year or two. Then that's when I went to juvenile prison. So that's how I got away from the cartel and that whole thing.
You went to prison for that?
No, I went to prison for runaway, resisting arrest, minor possession of alcohol, minor possession of narcotics. I think that's it, maybe. Oh, and grand theft auto. I was supposed to, in Texas, you have a minimum length stay, and you can stay longer based on your behavior. I had a minimum length stay of 9 months, and I stayed 27 months for behavior. That sucked.
And you got married after that?
I've never been married. We were just together. I say housewife, but...
You had kids after that?
I had kids. I had my first kid when I was 21.
How old are you now?
I'm 35.
What made you decide to come out here to California?
I came with my children's father. We lived in Texas for 10 years. He was tired of it. He's from Van Nuys, so he wanted to come home. So we came and we moved to Chatsworth
With the kids?
with the kids. And then I just got sick of him being controlling and selfish and whatever. So I just left home and went to Venice and became homeless in Venice for a few months.
And you've been on the streets ever since?
No, I stayed in Venice for 4 months. I went to jail for robbery, first-degree burglary, and a GTA. And after that, I was put on a mental health diversion. I was sentenced to 2 years program. So up until a month ago, I was in program. I had 3 months left to finish. But I kept getting high. So the 8th time I got high at program, they told me I needed to leave until I could pee clean, which should have been 3 days, but it's been a little over a month, almost 2 months, I think. So, yeah.
Your drug now is what?
I do meth mostly, crack occasionally, and I smoke a ton of weed.
How long you been on Skid Row?
I've been on Skid Row for almost a month. See, I was falling asleep on the bus, and whenever I woke up, I would stay for a couple of days. I've been to Inglewood, Compton, Watts, West LA, East LA. But I met this guy in West LA that was like, "You want to come ride with me? I have some bags in storage at Skid Row. I'm just going to grab them and we're going to come back to West Hollywood." Well, we got here and he does fentanyl, so he kept nodding out. And after like 6 hours of trying to get him to wake up, I was like, I have to get money and I have to get cigarettes, so I had to leave him there. And I've been wandering around Skid Row ever since.
Skid Row is rough, no?
Yeah, it is. Been here a month, been raped 6 times already, been held hostage, and I can't tell you how many tents.
How are you making money?
I prostitute a little, not very often. Usually I'm just broke.
Do you go to the shelters for food or stuff like that?
I have really bad social anxiety, so I can't stand in line without getting really dizzy and shaky and throwing up, so I just kind of go hungry most of the time, which really sucks. I should get over it, but I've been that way my whole life.
Is that from the childhood with your alcoholic parents, do you think?
Probably. And we had to hide like all the trauma in our lives, so we were always alone. My sisters were 2 twin sisters that were 7 years older than me and one that was 5, so they didn't really hang out with me because they were so much older. So I was always by myself. So being around people, I'm really like socially retarded.
Do you sleep down here?
I sleep every once in a while.
You don't have a tent or anything like that?
I don't have a tent. I have a few friends that I can go to their tent and sleep for a couple hours. But mostly I just walk. I walk all night because it's dangerous to sleep. And if you sit down, you nod off because you're so tired. So it's just easier just to walk and walk and walk.
How many days do you stay up in a row?
4 or 5 until I start hallucinating. And then I'll try to go to sleep.
And you sleep hard for a day or so?
Nope, I sleep for a few hours.
That's it?
One day I slept for 10 hours, but usually I only sleep for a few. I'm a light sleeper and I am very paranoid, so it's hard for me to sleep for a long time.
With all the sirens down here, it's impossible to sleep.
Yeah. I wasn't paranoid like this till I got here. After like the first week of being here, I've gotten very weird about a lot of stuff, like trying to figure out what the setup is, what the plot is all the time, what is the ulterior motive constantly in my head, like trying to figure it out, what this person's trying to do to me.
Do you think using crystal meth and then not sleeping for 5 days might,
I'm sure it makes it worse.
it's got to make it worse.
But I don't know. I feel I have good reason to be paranoid. Like, something spilled out. Somebody gave me a bottle of what was supposed to be nail polish. It spilled out in my backpack. I didn't know it. And so I used my brush, which made it get all in my hair, which made it get all over my face. And nobody believed me. They said I was tweaking. And it was glue, like clear glue all over my face. I finally went to the clinic because I thought I was going insane. And they said I did have glue on my face. Just weird stuff like that. Like, who does that to somebody? I don't know.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you living on the streets?
I got slapped and kicked in the face and told to leave or I'd get shot. That was kind of scary. That was probably the worst thing. Because a lot of people have held me hostage and been scary, but not actually hit me or anything, you know?
Do you have any family or friends that you can go to if you...
I have no one in California, period. And my mom's dead, my dad's dead, one of my sisters is dead. So I have 2 sisters left, but they didn't grow up with me. They grew up... When we got taken away by CPS, they decided to stay with relatives. And so I don't really know them. We text each other, hey, how you doing, every once in a while, but that's about it. So besides my kids, it's just me.
Do you think the drug use causes your social anxiety or the social anxiety makes you use the drugs?
The social anxiety makes me use the drugs.
You had these problems when you were younger?
I've had it my whole life, as long as I can remember, since I was little. Like, if I'm not on drugs, I'm basically mute. Like, I don't talk at all.
Really?
Yeah. But I also, for whatever reason, since my daughter died, if I don't do drugs, I'll sleep for 18, 20 hours a day for 4 or 5 days in a row. Like, have no life, just sleep. Oh, lately I've been getting drugged. I don't know what it's not in the drugs, because the last couple of nights I haven't been doing drugs because I've been scared of getting drugged. It's in the food people are giving me. Like 2 nights in a row, somebody gave me something to eat, and then all of a sudden I got dizzy and started hallucinating like crazy. Like that bugs were on me and hands were coming through the tent, and then just knocking out. But I don't know what they're drugging me with. It's weird. I'm still kind of messed up. Like, it feels like I'm on a boat. Everything is just rocking.
Do you have any good memories of your childhood or in your life?
Yeah, like Christmas and stuff. I don't know.
What's your biggest fear now?
Dying here and just being remembered as like a drug whore and not a person. That's probably my biggest fear. I don't mind dying here, but I don't want to be remembered like that.
What's your biggest regret?
Probably leaving home, leaving my children's father. Well, not really leaving him, leaving my kids. I just walked out on my kids. Which is crazy because I was with my kids 24 hours a day until they went to daycare, and then with PTA, soccer mom, I was with my kids constantly. And then I just disappeared.
I imagine losing your daughter the way you did must have been a terrible setback.
Yeah, it was. I pretty much lost my mind. That's when I started doing meth. I was like 25. I've never been the same since. Like, I didn't do drugs when I was with my children's father that whole 13 years. That's a lie. I did a couple of times, but it'd be like one night. You know what I mean? It wasn't like on drugs.
Do you think you're a little bit self-destructive?
I'm a little what?
Self-destructive?
Definitely. Even here, like I'll get a friend, somebody that actually cares about me, and completely sabotage it for absolutely no reason.
Have you been in love before?
Yeah. It wasn't really reciprocated on the same level. I was always like not good enough.
What would you say is your greatest strength?
It's weird. I have this disorder. I don't know if it'd be a strength, but it gets me to the day. I have a disorder where something bad happens to me in like a few hours or the next day, it's not real anymore. It's like it happened to somebody else, so I can get over it like that.
It's interesting.
So like where other people would be so traumatized over being raped, to me it's like it happened to her. I watched it. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain.
You disassociate.
People think I'm just a psycho or a liar, that I make it up. One of the two.
Do you feel like you're misunderstood by most people?
Definitely. I'm a really weird person.
Do you feel like life is unfair?
Not really. Not really. I feel like it's what you make it. I choose to be here. I could be in program. I could be in a shelter. I could probably be an SRO, but I like outside and I like to be free, and nobody understands that. I think I'm the dumbest person in the world.
You prefer to be on the street
I do.
and not getting clean in a program?
Yep. And it's not even about the drugs, it's just, I don't know. It's just being free. Nobody expects anything of homeless people. There's no standard there. There's just,
No pressure,
yeah.
no responsibility.
And then there's a lot of horrible people out here, but there's a lot of really good ones too. And I feel like they deserve somebody to be around, to be nice to them, to help them out. And that person should be me.
What's your favorite memory from your life?
My life. When my first son was born. There's just nothing like that first baby, you know? Not that the others aren't. That sounds bad.
Are you concerned that you're not there for your children?
Well, yes and no. Like, before I got here, I'm not around my kids, but I talk to them 3-4 times a week. We're really close. We talk about everything. But I was so disappointed in myself about leaving program. I haven't called them in this entire month and a half, 2 months. And now I just keep putting it off. And then I'll get a phone and I'll be like, I want to call them, and it'll get stolen or lost. That's an excuse. I'm just procrastinating because I know they're going to be really upset.
Is this your lowest point right now?
I don't feel like I'm that low. I'm making it.
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Heather, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Gangsters don't have feelings.
Gangsters don't have feelings?
Yeah. That's what keeps me going every day. Just remind myself of that. We don't have feelings.
All right. Heather, thank you so much for sharing your story. Hope you're safe out here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.